Welcome to a special summer series on the Grief Mentor podcast. For the next few episodes, I'm doing something a little different. We're going to call this series Moments That Make You Smile, a summer series for grieving moms, because grief is heavy, but there's still moments, sometimes unexpected, sometimes quiet, that remind us that yes, we are still alive. We're still capable of joy, even though it might look different now. So for the next few episodes, I'll be sharing some short reflections that feel a little lighter, a little more spacious, something that you can take with you on a walk or maybe into your garden or just maybe your favorite spot. So let's take a deep breath together. Let's remember that joy can coexist alongside of our grief. We are not dishonoring our children when we have spontaneous moments of laughter. Let's find some moments that make us smile. If you're grieving the death of your child and you want the steps that lead to believing with confidence that life is still worth living, then you're in the right place. Hello, I'm Teresa, a grief mentor. That's been where you are, and I teach grieving moms like you how to navigate life after child loss. If you're ready to take a step of courage and build a solid foundation to live with hope and purpose, then I'm here to teach you how. Are you ready for what God has for you? Then I'm ready to teach you. The title of today's episode is The Unexpected Gift of Laughter. I want to share a story with you that happened last night. So I was cleaning out a nightstand. I don't know how many of you have nightstands at your bedside, but we have had the same furniture for like 35 years now. We bought it when we had only been married 7 years, and it was the biggest deal when we got that furniture because just like everybody else when you're starting out, we had all the makeshift pieces, the couch that somebody wanted to donate, the chair that was left and we claimed. So this was our really first set of bedroom furniture. And I was cleaning out my nightstand because I want to get a nightstand that actually has drawers where I can be a little bit more organized, because this just has 2 doors on the front that open up and it was just packed full of everything. So a little walk down memory lane. I'm a saver, and I've done many Bible studies through the years, and on my shelves here in my office, I have Bible studies just lined. But I'd forgotten that inside of my nightstand, I had saved, I don't know how many Bible studies. And I was pulling those out one by one. Just looking at the cover caused me to have memories of the insights that I had gained in those Bible studies. And of course, my husband was over there saying, Teresa, quit walking down memory lane. We've got work to do. We got to get this cleaned out. And so as I was pulling out those Bible studies, a few cards fell out. Friends, they were cards that I didn't even know I had. And so I looked down at them and I could tell that some of them had my son's handwriting on them and some of them had my daughter's handwriting on them. And I'm a saver of cards. I don't know if you do that, but I tend to save a lot of things. I think because when I was a kid, about 18 years old, our house burned to the ground. And that kind of left an impression on me because I didn't have any mementos or things to give my kids from my childhood. So you know what they ended up making me do, right? Right. I saved everything from their childhood. But these cards that fell out between these Bible studies, I just took a deep breath because as I began to sort through them, because, I wanted to read obviously what was in them, I came across a card that Andrew had made for me. There's no date on it. And I pulled out 3 or 4, and Sarah, most of her cards were cards that she had purchased from a store. There was one that she had created by herself. Most of Andrew's were handmade. So I pulled this one out, and I wish I could show it to you, but it's just a piece of cardstock folded in 2. And on the outside of it, he actually cut the letters out of a magazine. Now, this card is not dated. But it has adult handwriting in it, right? This is not his little boy handwriting. This is adult Andrew handwriting. He took the time to actually cut out, it was my birthday, I suppose. There's no date, like I said, but it says happy birthday. He took the time to cut out every single letter in proper punctuation, right? Capital H, small a, PPY. And they're all individual letters. Same thing, birthday, capital B, and then IRTH, and then there's a hyphen, and then he's got DAY. And at the end of the card, there's 3 little dots that he created out of this, I guess it was a magazine or something. And then you open up the card on the inside, and he cut out the letters, Mom, I love you. And then he wrote this precious note to me. And then he signed it, Love, Andrew. And then when we turned it over on the back, he wrote, created by ... your son. Now, obviously, I saved this because it meant so much to me when he gave it to me. But I did not know I had such a treasure like this inside of my nightstand that's probably been there. We've lived in this house for 26 years. So it's been there for a while. And then I found a card from Sarah that called me not just her mom, but her best friend. So I'm thinking there wasn't a date on it. So I'm pretty sure it wasn't her high school years. You know what I mean? Moms that has raised daughters, you know exactly what I mean. I think it may have been after she had gone through that transition of her high school years. So it must have been sometime between probably even after she got out of college, because she was talking about a time that we spent together. But she literally wrote in her card, you're not just my mom, you're my best friend. So at this point, there's tears and laughing all at the same time. Isn't that just the way grief is, friends? I'm looking at this card. First of all, most of Andrew's cards were homemade. And I'm laughing while I'm reading this stuff because if you knew Andrew, you knew he was frugal. Okay, we did a good job of teaching Andrew on how to manage money. We were big Dave Ramsey fans when we were raising our kids, and we taught them how to live within a budget. And he took all of that to heart. And he was frugal. He was known for being frugal with his money. We'll just kind of leave it like that. But it was such a moment of unexpected laughter. And I didn't even know that I had these treasures tucked inside my nightstand. What a gift. What a gift that was. So I want you to hear this today, friend. Joy and sorrow can coexist. Ecclesiastes 3 tells us that there's a time to weep, there's a time to laugh, a time to mourn, and a time to dance. That's the paradox of grief, isn't it? You can feel the ache and laugh at the same time. I was crying and laughing all at the same time. You can cry in the car and still laugh at your husband's corny dad jokes. You can miss your child with every fiber of your being and still experience a real moment of joy. So this is what I want to encourage you with today, friend. Don't be afraid to smile. Don't question the laughter. Don't push it away when it comes spontaneously because it feels wrong. Joy doesn't mean that you stop missing your kid. It doesn't mean that the grief is gone. It means your heart is still open to love, to honor the love that you shared with your child, to honor the memories and lose yourself inside one of those moments, even if it's just for a moment. It opens the door to live again. You're not leaving your child behind. You're taking them with you every step of the way until it's your turn to hear, well done, my good and faithful servant. Welcome home. Jesus said in John 16:22, so you have sorrow now, but I will see you again. Then you will rejoice, and no one can rob you of that joy. Friend, you're going to see your kid again. That promise isn't just for someday, though. It's for right now, too. So if a little moment of joy finds its way into your week, receive it, celebrate it, even if you're crying and laughing at the same time like I did last night. And if it makes you feel joy, let it. Even in your grief, friend, it's okay to laugh. And even though it's summer, I know life gets really full, even if you are in seasons of grief, especially if you have surviving children that still live in your home. Summer has a way of just picking up pace and getting busier with all the things that we can do. So I've decided to extend the discounted rate for the Grief Mentor sessions for another week. So if you've been waiting for the time to go deeper, just because it's summer doesn't mean I'm not here, okay? My doors are still open. So you can schedule your one-on-one session through the link in the show notes. If you've been thinking about joining the Grief Roadmap in the fall, now is the time to get on that wait list. And here's why. The people on the wait list are going to get early access, including a chance to claim one of the limited private mentoring spots that I'm offering this round for the August class. So if you want to join that wait list, you can find that link in the show notes. And lastly, if you're not already a Grief Mentor Insider, why not? I'd love to invite you to join us. Each week, I just send out one email with clickable links to both the podcasts now, and there's a blog that takes the message of the content a little deeper. It's a simple way to stay connected and to remind you that you are not alone. And the Grief Mentor support group is meeting June 26th. Now, I did send out an email reminder, and I've heard from a couple of people that they didn't get it, even though they are inside that Grief Mentor monthly support group. If that's you, check your spam folder. If you have joined the Grief Mentor support group and you're not receiving the reminder emails, check your spam. If it's not in your spam folder, please reach out to me and I will delete your email and re-add it. But 99.9% of the time, it's because it's ended up in that spam folder. Thank you for joining me for the first episode of Moments That Make You Smile, a summer series for grieving moms. I pray that it brought your heart comfort. I pray that those corners of your mouths today went up with a smile. If something I said helped you remember a funny moment with your kid, I pray that it did. But if this episode touched your heart, take a moment and share it with somebody that needs to hear it today. And that's all I have for you. So until next time, take care.